It's gonna get a little funky up in here.
Is push and orange juice. It's the official morning betting show of Multiplicity Media. My name is Greg Waddell from the Sleepers. I'm with my Sleepers counterpart, Carter Elliott, and that boy D Hill, aka Deion Hill-Ford. Boys, we've been talking about this for months. What better day than to kick off a betting show than college football playoff, New Year's Eve? The Michigan Wolverines are in the game. I have a Moscow Mule in my hand before noon. It's a beautiful day. How we doing?
The energy is completely off in here right now, and I'm gonna just be honest because we're all thinking it. Because one, you got a Michigan jersey on with an FBI hat. I got a Houston Astros hat on, and then Deion's forehead is large. So
horns down,
and Deion has a horn, but that's on brand, friend. But hey, happy pre New Year to everybody. Hope everyone is gonna have a great New Year's Eve, and this is exactly how you get it off on the right foot. With our dumbasses giving you research and gut feelings on how to win or maybe lose some money. I don't know. No guarantees on pushing OJ.
There's never a guarantee other than I understand the assignment. I did my research on sleepers. I came prepared. I came with a shot.
Wow.
And I came with a mimosa.
Wow. Oh my. And I just wanted to point out so everyone knows that Deion is actually on the West Coast. So it's that nice 8 a.m. there, right?
It's 8:02 right now.
I genuinely
Gator Bowl's on.
I genuinely can't believe Deion made it on time for this. So kudos to you. I also genuinely can't believe that Carter Elliott did any sort of research for this. We did one test episode of this, and he was told to have a pick for like 5 different games, 3 different segments. And all he did was bring one pick from one game for every single segment. And now that Michigan State has already played, he can't pick that. So we're going to see what happens today. But you look eager. You look excited to get this started, Carter.
Well, first off, I didn't put this on the agenda because I know you guys would cut me off. But here's how to properly make a mimosa for those out there drinking along with us. First, you get your champagne. Hey, pushing OJ. Grab your glass here. You fill it up with champagne. As much as you need at the time, really a personal preference. I'm a big dog. This is going to be a big cup. Okay? Pour your champagne. Grab your orange juice. I chose to go with the 50-calorie simply orange juice because, bad bitch season is upon us. I got to get my body right. And you put in your OJ here. That's it. Mimosa. Don't overdo it. Let's get to the best, baby.
Is it pulp free?
Oh, of course.
I just want to point out, in my America, if you drink pulp in your orange juice, that's a federal offense. G and his FBI hat would come arrest you. 25 to life, bare minimum.
Hey, and also, while we're talking about arrests here, some big news on the legal side in the state of Michigan. You can write off your gambling losses in tax deductions. Cheers, folks. This is a life-changing event for me and my family today. We're starting off 2022, right? We got to start and get into these games. We have to get into Michigan, Alabama, or Michigan, Georgia, Alabama, Cincy. Let's start with Michigan, though. We got a lot of Michigan viewers that are excited for this game, that are probably tuned in watching this right now. The line that I've seen as of this morning is plus 7.5 still for the Wolverines. That hasn't dipped. I was wondering if that was going to get down to just a flat 7. Maybe even down to a 6.5. No, they're getting 7.5 points. The over-under is 45.5. Carter, you are not a Michigan fan. Deion, you are a notorious Jim Harbaugh hater. So I'm very curious to see if you're taking the points in this football game today. Deion, let's go to you first.
Oh, I got Georgia minus 7.5. I'm looking up the alternate line right now because I'll have that. Team total over. I think they hit the over probably on their own, so I'll take that as well. This first quarter, I'm going to take that too. Jim Harbaugh does not get his teams ready for playoff games. I know it's college. It's not the same. They beat Ohio State, whatever. People can say what they want. Little brother finally showed up for the first time in a decade. Who gives a fuck? I've watched Jim Harbaugh. He has an inability to get his teams ready. They're going to come out flat. Cade McNamara goes down 14-0 in the first quarter. They don't have the offense to come back. I also bet Wake Forest first quarter and full game. I just watched that kickoff. That was a bad bet. It was a bad bet.
Wait, what happened?
They didn't even get to the 20. Like, just fair catch it. You get to the 25 automatically. It was a bad bet.
It's okay. No, Wake Forest deserved to be favored by at least 2 scores just based on Sam Hartman's handsomeness. That's a major factor here. I don't expect a quarterback that handsome to lose to fucking Rutgers.
That's actually very true. Handsomeness does matter, even in football when they wear helmets. But if you have an ugly quarterback,
why do you think that was the game last night for Michigan State? Because Peyton Thorne, looks like other guys named Peyton. That's why he fumbles for a scoop and score. Now all of a sudden it's a dicey game against a team with a third-string quarterback. Come on.
Yeah, no, I can't believe I had to stress that out. But, now that we got Deion going extremely wild and giving you his absolute wild, I hate Michigan takes, let's switch to a little more unbiased. Now, yes, I am a Michigan State football fan, but I'll tell you right now, in this game, you really just got to give Michigan, just even if you hate them, because honestly, I do. You got to give them a little bit of respect. This is a good football team. They have good players on both sides of the ball, okay? Now, do I think this Georgia team is better? Yes. Personally, I think they are better. I think that these teams are carbon copies of each other, actually. I just think that Georgia might just be a little bit better. Now, with that said, with the point spread being at 7.5, I'm not mad at anybody who gets on that 7.5. If I had to choose between the two, and I'm actually thinking with my wallet and not my pure hatred for the school in AA, I might lean Michigan just because that 7.5 number, that half irks me. If anything, I'd buy it down to 6.5, and I bet that Georgia will win by a touchdown. But that last little half irks me. But I think I like the over in this game. The storylines could write themselves for the 2 quarterbacks, Stetson, Cade. No one cares about them. They're just they're the token Gildan brand Caucasian quarterback that you put back there that's willing to die for the program. And then they just come out and show out. Like, they throw for 300 yards each, a couple touchdowns. And I think that the over could hit in this game. I still believe it's at 44.5 unless that's moved at all. I really like that over in this game. There's just been so much talk about defense and how everybody wants the under. When this game first came out, I know everybody was talking about getting on the under. And that's exactly what happens in betting. Everyone talks about the under, and then these 2 quarterbacks out of nowhere come and show out. And these teams have shown big playability as well, especially with Michigan, not necessarily just from Cade. They have playmakers that can make big plays. Donovan Edwards might be their best quarterback behind J.J. McCarthy, for God's sake. They have playmakers. So I think in this game, I think Georgia's going to win the football game. But betting-wise, I would lean towards the over-under and stay away from that point spread unless you're feeling really good, because you can get great value at Michigan 7.5 or Michigan money line this game, in a game where it's 2 matched teams, I think, on paper.
Card, I'm really sad that you just sort of usurped my take for this game, that I thought I was the only person on earth with this take, that this could be a bit of a shootout. I think the quarterbacks are going to show out in this football game. I think Stetson Bennett is a lot better than people are giving him credit.
I'm sorry. I can't hear Stetson Bennett's name without chuckling.
No, it's hilarious. It's genuinely a hilarious name. But Georgia a week and a half ago, everyone considered this team the best football team in the country. Run away, right? That this is what everyone thought of Georgia. And then all of a sudden they play Alabama in a game that I don't want to call it meaningless, but Georgia knew they were in the playoff, even if they lost that game. All of a sudden that changes, and we're no longer respecting what they've had all season long. And part of that, to me, starts at quarterback. Stetson Bennett has been a guy who knows he just needs to not lose them football games. And he's done a really good job at that. I actually think he's capable of more. And I think we're going to see that flip a little bit today. I think both Cade McNamara and Stetson Bennett are going to make plays that could win their team this football game. And the question that ultimately will decide the game will be which quarterback wins it. And I think both are capable. I'm not necessarily swung one way or the other at 7.5. I honestly would encourage everyone to maybe watch a drive of this game, both sides, before you make a decision on how you're going to bet this. I think if you see Georgia just run right through Michigan and that line jumps up to 13.5 immediately, if you're hard pressed to bet Michigan, I'd much rather have 13.5 than I would 7.5. So I'm probably going to wait it out. But at the same time, 7.5 is a key number. And Cart, I love key numbers. And Michigan getting 7.5 with this team, the way they've played in big games. Well, most big games. I know one big game you might want to talk about, Cart. 7.5 is a good number, and I can't weasel my way out of not putting a little bit of money on the Wolverines.
So, a couple things. You did all that talk about Stetson Bennett, who's probably Georgia's worst starter, to then take Michigan with the points. Second off, if I had to put the money line on Stetson Bennett wearing that same exact FBI hat post-game on the podium after they win by 1 million, minus 750. Minus 750.
We've been talking about betting for a long time, and I know your tendencies. I know where you go on this one. You love some good motivation. Is there no motivation for Georgia to get their second shot at this Alabama team? I mean, Georgia was, to me, throughout the year, the best team in college football. Yes, Bama is Bama, but throughout the regular season, I thought that Georgia was the best team in college football. They were giving up 10 points a whole football game. They were doing great things. It's a really good football team. They were the best team in college football to me. They now have some motivation to get back and get there and run it back against Alabama, because I know they've been hearing about it. Like, they probably heard all the narratives like, oh, yeah, they had a great season, but still not better than Bama. Bama's still Bama. Like, they've probably been hearing that for the last month. So there is some motivation for this Georgia team beyond, just trying to play in the college football playoff. And I know you love good extra motivation. What is the motivation for this Michigan football team? If Michigan loses this game,
come on.
No. If Michigan loses this football game,
what are we doing here?
There's going to be everybody on the timeline having a good old kumbaya moment, grabbing it up and saying, you know what? We still had a good year. We still beat Ohio State. We still made it Indy. It's okay. Everybody bring it in. Retweet or like for more. Love one another. Like this, it means something, but if they lose this game, it's not the end of the world.
Listen, because you've been there. I personally was there in person when Michigan State went to the college football playoff to play Alabama. Immediately after that game, there was no flip to, oh, we had a good year. Like, yeah, you can put things like in a frame of overall, that was a successful season. But like at the same time, talking about there's going to be no motivation for this Michigan team. The first time they got over the hump, the first time they got to the playoff, I think this team, if anything, has shown how much motivation is a factor for them in big games. Like Ohio State down the stretch.
There's no just happy to be there factor.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Also, the best argument any of the three of us made about any of these teams was that Georgia didn't care about that Alabama game because they knew they were going to the playoff, and G made it and then promptly took Michigan with the points.
Look, I still think Georgia's the best football team in America. I truly do. Do I think they're 7.5 points better than this Michigan team who's been hooping on a football field? I don't know. That's
on the football field.
You may say, Cart, you know my tendencies. You know that I love motivational factors. Maybe the only thing in betting I love more than motivational factors is a key number. 7.5 is a key number, boys. That's all I'm saying. If it's 6.5,
I would put key numbers under names. I think it goes motivation, names, key numbers. Names are big for you.
Names, motivation, key numbers for me. Names are massive.
And we'll get to some names here. I have one final question for you guys on Michigan before we move on. Did the video of Jim Harbaugh saying that Dax Hill might be in Miami swing anything for you guys? Because that 100% swung me towards Michigan.
He's such a clown, dude. I've been watching him do this I hate him. I hate him in his khakis with his pen around his neck. I hate him. He's such a clown. All that video did was cement the Georgia minus 7.5 and the alternate line. That's all it did.
But that's a pretty cagey, I love that move. And I hate Jim Harbaugh. I love that move.
But there's a moment in the video, and it's only 20 seconds. So if you can find it quickly, go back and watch it. There's a moment where he looks at the camera, or he looks down and he realizes, damn, I said too much. That's classic Jim Harbaugh. Just classic Jim Harbaugh. He played his hand.
Yeah, basically, it was funny to me, but at the same time, my deep-rooted issues with Jim Harbaugh will never allow me to, do something or give that man credit, to be honest. Like, even at this point, all credit to the Michigan football players. Coach can go to hell. Like, offensive coordinator, great job. You know, the Dockers guy, whatever. Q-pen, Q-glasses. Like, I'm good.
It's going to be a big day for narratives, one way or the other, Carter.
Oh,
We'll see what happens.
hey, you see how we have our Twitters at the bottom of here? My Twitter will be gone if Michigan wins this football game. I will be off the sphere. Pushing OJ will have a new light-skinned counterpart that will not be me because I'm not coming back.
All right, let's move to the other playoff game, the early playoff game today. Alabama, Cincinnati. It opened, I believe, at Alabama minus 13.5. It has worked its way up to Alabama minus 14, a flat number. That is even, though. So the money is still on Cincy plus 14 if you're going to take it at that number. The over-under is 57 points. Guys, I can't fathom Alabama actually being in a dicey game with Cincinnati. I just can't. I like all respect to Cincinnati. I like Desmond Ridder. I think they had a cute season. I don't think they're ready to play this Alabama team on this day and make this a competitive football game. I am all over Alabama minus 13.5, minus 14, minus whatever you want to call it. I'm on the Crimson Tide. Deion, what are you on for this game?
So we spoke briefly before the show. I said I spent the week researching Cincinnati. I had no idea what I'm doing. I'm a gut feeling guy. I'm a natural reaction guy. I just took a shot. I love Cincinnati plus 13.5 now. And little sprinkle, the money line. Love the sprinkle of the money line. Sauce Gardner is going to have Jamison Williams in absolute hell. I think the Alabama defense fucking stinks. They're a bit one-dimensional on offense. The running back, I mean, he's okay. He doesn't live up to Alabama running backs. I did a little research, got some stats for you guys. Hold on, let me find them. Cincinnati, 33 takeaways on defense. They've only allowed 10 passing touchdowns, 53% completion percentage, 5.7 yards per attempt. All those are top 5 in the country. Bryce Young might have won the Heisman. He's going to be in hell. Sauce Gardner. Incredible name. I don't have a girlfriend or a wife. Whoever that person is doesn't have a choice. My first son will be named Sauce Gardner.
Deion, you know the reason that they have all those good defensive stats is because basically they were playing against offenses that would feature us three on it. Like, let's be real. They did not play a soul. They played Notre Dame. That's it.
The three of us would have the mentality of a great offense, at least. Maybe not the physical attributes.
I mean, Cart's built like a left tackle for sure. So
yeah,
moves like a tight end though. Swing him out wide and lead block for a running back.
Greg, you're built like an equipment manager.
It's also true. I'm dressed like one today too. It is what it is.
But respectfully, Deion's wrong. Okay, like he is breaking one of my betting commandments, and that is don't ever bet against Nick Saban. It's not good. It's not a way to make money. It's a way to hit your bookie up on Monday and say, look, I need a rollover. Okay. Nick Saban has a history of not just beating, but he dominates teams, especially in the semifinals. I think the number here that I have is average margin of victory in the semis is 20.5 points. Okay. And I think they played some better teams in the semis than this, Cincinnati team. And look, Cincinnati, top 10 defense, like you said, Sauce Gardner, Detroit boy, shout out to him. He's a baller. He's an NFL prospect. He's going to do great things at the next level. But look, fact of the matter is, like, there's levels to this football shit, okay? All respect to Cincinnati. They should be proud that a non-Power 5 school made it to the college football playoff. That is an extreme accomplishment when everyone was waiting for them to slip up and not make it. So credit to them for getting here. Enjoy the free gear. Enjoy the hype. Enjoy Miami while you can. But at the fact of the matter is, when they get between those white lines, Bama's about to run these boys off the field. Okay, you saw what a Nick Saban team was able to do to a Georgia defense that is one of the best in the country. And Bryce Young was chopping them boys up in bits, all right? And he's going to do the same in Cincinnati. Like, the fact of the matter is, it's Bama. It's Bama versus Cincinnati. You can do all the research you want. Those defensive stats are great. Is the University of Alabama versus the University of Cincinnati in a football game? And you're telling me that I can buy it down to 13.5? and you're telling me that Bama can't win by 2 touchdowns? Like, no, I'm all good. I would love to look into it more, research more, but I'm good. Like, I'm gonna make this easy on myself. I'm gonna bankroll myself going into the Michigan game. Take Bama, buy it down, I think, to minus 13.5, just so you don't have to worry about some weird stuff happening, and cash that ticket. Ooh.
Real quick, you made one of my great mistakes when it comes to betting. When you say something like "Don't bet against Saban," I'm the king of saying don't bet against Mahomes. You should bet against Mahomes. He's horrible against the spread. What was Bama against the spread this year, Cart?
Wow, I did not know that Deion was going to pull this out, but
wow,
well,
7-6.
Okay, cute regular season Bama. This is different, bro. This is what they
winning
do.
record.
It is a winning record. What was Cincinnati against the spread? Not much better, but better for what it's worth.
Yeah, playing the likes of fucking Tulane. Who are they playing? Like, come on.
You still got good teams win, great teams cover.
Sure, shout out Michigan State. Good cover.
Yeah, that's fair. That was a great cover last night. I was on Pittsburgh though, so that it was tough.
Well, look, Cart, you said this was a commandment to not bet against Nick Saban, and I was with you when we wrote the Sleepers 10 Commandments of betting, and don't bet against Nick Saban. Like, when we say that's a commandment, that's not just like thou shalt not envy commandment. That's a thou shalt not kill commandment. Okay, like, this is the pinnacle commandment to not bet against
Craig said it's a non-negotiable commandment.
I'm just saying, like, look, like, we got a lot of commandments. I grew up in the Catholic Church. Okay, like, some of them commandments you look at a little sideways when it's confession day. Like, oh no, man, like, I could probably get away with that. Like, I'm not gonna go around and kill, and I'm not gonna go around and bet against Nick Saban in a playoff game. What are we doing here? It's 13.5. This game screams. It screams to me that Alabama, like, runs the opening kickback for a touchdown or some shit, and all of a sudden it's 7-0, and they're receiving a punt from Cincy with 11 minutes left in the first quarter, and everyone in the world is like, oh my God, I can't believe I bet on Cincinnati. I don't see any outcome for this game other than an Alabama blowout. We talk about Sauce Gardner. Again, great name. Are we not going to mention that their other defensive back's name is Kobe Bryant and is wearing the number 8 in honor of Kobe Bryant?
I didn't know that. Take the sprinkle away. Hammer Cincinnati money line.
I mean, that's the only thing that gives me pause here is literally we've got Kobe Bryant wearing number 8 in a pretty big moment here. But no, I don't know. I just look, one of these teams is going to go to the Natty, and one of these teams has Natty in their name. Give me the team that's going to go to the Natty.
Sorry, I got someone in the group chat holding my fit, so I had to respond accordingly. That's all that was.
I mean,
I did want to ask, Cart, that thing on your wrist, is your wrist hurt or is that part of the jacket?
No, it's part of the jacket.
Boy, that's tough. I mean, that's tough.
Yeah, hey, I know you might be watching. Shout out my boy Stanley over at Under Armour. He sent me this, and this hoodie's fire. It like looks like I'm in the league, but like I'm not. So
well, we knew because you have the wrist thing going on the end of it. It looked
it's tough.
Oh boy. All right. Let's move to a couple of the other games. We've got a lot of great football tomorrow. New Year's Day games, a classic always. Notre Dame, Oklahoma State. The line I see is Notre Dame -2. The over-under is 45 right now. Do either of you have a strong lean for this game?
I guess I'll go first. Hint, hint. This is going to be one of my best bets when we talk about it at the end of the show. So I'm going to save a little bit of my juju and what I want to talk about. But just straight up, I really like this Notre Dame team. I think they just really have a lot of momentum going in right now with the Coach Freeman taking over. I just think I'm buying into the greatness of the video when he got introduced. I'm buying into all the quotes. I'm buying into Freeman as a coach. I think he's going to do great things at Notre Dame. I really hope he does do great things at Notre Dame because I think he has the ability to do so. So basically, this is a bet on me buying into Freeman, as a knee-jerk reaction. I do have some research to back this, of course, but I like Notre Dame in this game. I think they want to get the Freeman era started off on a good note. They got a couple opt-outs of Kyron Williams, and then, of course, Hamilton, who's going to be a top pick in the NFL draft, the safety. But like I said, I think this is a game to get the Freeman era started off on a great note. Coach knows that. The players know that. I like the motivation in this game. And I think we can all talk about motivation is a huge factor in all of these bowl games. Like, it makes a huge difference if teams want to play or don't want to play. North Carolina yesterday did not want to play and got played off by a South Carolina team that was 13-point underdogs and was playing a wide receiver at quarterback for most of the game. Like, if that's not a pure case of wanting to be there and wanting to win and wanting to do something, then I don't know what is. So I think that Notre Dame has more of an energy to be there and get their program started off on a good note under the Freeman era. So I like Notre Dame in this football game. And I can't believe I'm saying that because I typically don't like Notre Dame, but now I like them because Freeman.
I had nothing for this game until G went on his rant about the commandments in the Catholic Church. Now I'm on Notre Dame. Like, you have to be. I mean, you have to be. You just have to be.
Yeah, I mean, if this is like the Brian Kelly's gone game, give me Notre Dame. That's all that matters. Like, we don't need to go anything beyond that. I would take Notre Dame no matter what the spread is because Brian Kelly's gone. And that's all I need to hear. Let's see what happens. I do believe Notre Dame's a really talented football team. I also think Oklahoma State, like, should have been in the playoff. And then, like, their running back had the edge. Literally had the edge 3 yards from the goal line and couldn't get touchdown. Like, what are we doing here? I saw enough in one play to know that I can never put money on Oklahoma State. There's only one game left in the year. So, again, give me Notre Dame. I'm with you, Carr. I'm going to take Notre Dame money line probably in a variety of ways. But motivation, Brian Kelly gone. Don't trust Oklahoma State after one play. That's enough for me. Another game I want to talk about, Ohio State, Utah. The line is down to Ohio State -4. The over-under is 64 points in this game. Ohio State's had a lot of opt-outs. A lot has been made of the opt-outs. I think this has sort of swung, at least in the conversations that I've seen, in a spot that's a little disrespectful to Ohio State. Let's not act like they still don't have a bunch of 5 stars that were their 5th and 6th strings that are now their 3rd and 4th strings in this game that are still more talented than the dudes that Utah is going to line up with. Again, motivation, like, Utah definitely wants this game. I don't think Ohio State gives a shit, but, like, 5-star gonna 5-star. Are either of you on this game in any way?
I love Utah. Ohio State don't want to be there. They're championship or bust. They just don't want to be here. It's like I believe like 3 or 4 years ago, Georgia played Oklahoma in the Sugar Bowl. Actually, it was more than that. It was before the playoff. But they played Bama played Oklahoma in the Super Bowl and got dogged because they didn't want to be there. It's certain teams are championship or bust. Ohio State ain't going down to LA and play, like, they're there to party. They're not there to play football. So Utah money line +4 and the under. I think Utah's a really good defense.
Okay. Me on this game. If you asked me a week ago, when we did this test episode, I believe, for all the ridicule I got, I did come with a Utah agenda on why Utah should win. But, Greg likes to, whisper my accomplishments, scream my failures. That's for another day. It's okay. I did mess up. But, I'm with you, G. I think that, at the same time, Ohio State doesn't want to be there, but, like, Ohio State is still putting out, on offense and defense at minimum, like 6 5-star players, whether guys are opting out or not. Like, these guys are talented. And I don't know if college football players look at lines, but, like, if I was playing in a Division I school, and because I'm a gambling aficionado, I would look at that and be like, just so y'all know, I checked the sports book the other day, and the lines moved like 3 points. They really think we aren't that. So let's go out there and show them we aren't that. I know gambling shouldn't be a motivation, and college athletes should not gamble. Don't do that. But, like, they're still putting out 5-star talent on the field. CJ Stroud is still a really good quarterback. I think he can do some things. I think the narrative of everyone switching to Utah really doesn't make me feel good as I felt before. So honestly, getting it at, Ohio State just to win by a touchdown, at 4 points, I think I'm going Ohio State -4.5 on this one.
I think the three of us have been on opposite sides of every bet. It's been you two against me, every single bet besides Notre Dame. And I was on the opposite side of that until we got the command.
We were good on Michigan, Georgia.
Were you on Georgia? I thought you were on Michigan.
I'm on the over-under, so.
Oh, that's right.
First of all, I'll never be on Michigan. I don't care if it's my last dollar. I'd rather live on the streets and panhandle than bet on the amazing blue weenies.
Oh, good Lord. Let me give my quick Ohio State take. So I wrote in an article for Multiplicity Media, which is on the Multiplicity website. I wrote that I was picking Utah in this game to win straight up. I think I had Utah by like 9 in this game. I've totally swung, though, because like you guys said, I don't think anyone from Ohio State wants to play this game, but I think the guys that don't want to play this game aren't playing. Like, I think the 11 guys that are going to suit up on Ohio State are actually going to be motivated because they're dudes that have been buried on the bench that are still hella talented that all of a sudden are like, all right, let me show you what I fucking got. And here's the thing. Like, we can joke about Ryan Day. We can joke about Ohio State, the debacle to Michigan, whatever it is. Like, to me, Ryan Day is still a good football coach, and Ryan Day is still like a fiery competitor. Like, this is the dude who had the audacity to say, like, I'm going to hang 100 on Michigan. And this is the dude who had not lost a Big Ten football game in like 3 calendar years prior to this game against Michigan. I think this is his first opportunity. I mean, it's the first time he's ever been backed into a corner, right? This dude is coming off his biggest rival, clowning him on a national stage, going to the playoff, and then saying some dudes are born on third and think they hit a triple. That is the most prove-it spot I've ever seen for a head coach in college football. I expect Ryan Day to come out hungry. I expect him to get his team ready, and I expect the 5 stars to 5-star. So I've swung all the way. I'm big on Ohio State -4 at this point.
Can I ask if either of you have any idea how many 5 stars are left on Ohio State, or if we're just pretending to know that?
No, I know that Olave and them.
I know Olave is a 5-star too, Cart.
No, I'm saying like they're opting
like
out.
Smith,
And literally, they got guys
Smith
like
Najigba.
Fleming. They got the Smith guy, both 5 stars that are going to.
I don't think any of them are like defensive guys though, which I feel was referenced multiple times.
Do you think the offensive gauntlet that is the Utah Utes are going to run up 50 today?
It's a better offensive team than. Look, I bet a lot of Pac-12 after dark. I know it's late for you guys. It's early for me. I watch it while I get ready to go to the club. I think you guys will be a little surprised.
It's also worth noting that of all teams that I have been on the wrong side betting against this year, Utah is number 1A. I think I bet an unreasonable amount of units on Oregon to beat Utah both games, and Utah just ran them off the field both times. One of those was at my good friend Carter Elliott's wedding. And it really put a damper on the Elliott wedding night for me, just checking my phone, realizing they were down 32 points in the second half.
Oregon beat, by the way.
We're not going to talk about that, Deion. We're going to move on. We have a very special guest. The first ever inaugural guest on Push and Orange Juice is someone we've gotten to know through Spotify Green Room a little bit. He does one of the best betting shows you can find on the internet. Prophet picks himself, Hakeem Prophet. Hakeem, thank you so much for being here, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I appreciate you guys having me on. And we've gotten together a few times on Green Room. It's great to be doing this again.
Absolutely,
he's
bro.
setting the tone right now, background wise, absolutely destroying us. As far as the scenery in the background right now, all we have are just plain colored walls, and it just looks. I mean, you got the setup.
Yeah, Lexi, we got our producer Lexi on the show. Let's get Hakeem the FaceTime here. Can we bring him to the forefront so the fam can see his background? Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah, that is pretty nice. A little bit. Just a little bit. I pat myself on the back a little.
I love it. All right, so we're going to play a little game while we got Hakeem here. This is a game called Sharp Tank. If you have seen the show Shark Tank, it's going to work similarly, except instead of selling you on an upstart company that's not going to work, we're going to sell you on bets that aren't going to win. Each of us individually are going to go around the horn, and we're going to have one bet that we need to sell the other 3 on the panel on why they should get behind us and tail that bet. I'll go first as just an example, and then we'll go around the horn, and we'll save our guest Hakeem for last. Save the best for last. So I'm going to start. I'm going to move away from college football, boys. There's a college basketball game on in approximately 25 minutes here. This would be High Point against the Kentucky Wildcats. This is a home game for John Calipari and the Kentucky team. Kentucky, solid basketball team, maybe fringe top 15 team in the country right now. High Point coming off a game that they really put a scare into Cart's own Michigan State Spartans at the Breslin Center. This was a one-possession game with less than 10 minutes left. They had them on the ropes. Their star player's name is Jaden House. He's a bucket getter. I've seen it with my own eyes. Step back off the dribble. They have a 5'8", 139-pound white shooting guard named Bryson Childress, who was 4 for 4 from the field against Michigan State for 12 points. Kentucky has too many good things happening to them right now. This is the crux of my argument. They had a blowout win against North Carolina, blowout win against Western Kentucky, blowout win against Missouri. 2 of those 3 teams stink. Whenever too many good things happen to John Calipari teams that don't have like elite NBA talent, something horrible always happens immediately after and brings them back down to earth. 4 of the last 5 years, Kentucky has lost between December 20th and New Year's Eve. This is the final opportunity for them to do so. The spread is plus 27.5 for High Point. But fellas, I want you to sprinkle money line. I want a $100 bet on High Point money line to win $2,500. That's my pitch. Who's with me?
Sprinkle? 100 is a sprinkle.
It's sprinkle.
You know what? I can't bet against 5'8" kings. I'm on High Point with you. I just can't do it. I mean, no, I can't do it. We're all kings at 5'8", man.
No, okay. Let me cut you. Let me cut y'all off. Okay. Okay. First of all, Greg, credit to you for having the audacity to even come with that. Like, I thought you were gonna go for an underdog at like 12.5. You come in here with a High Point basketball take. Okay. Kentucky is playing some of the best basketball right now in all of college basketball, I think.
They beat Missouri. Come on. They beat Missouri. Like,
no. They beat some good. They beat North Carolina, who I think is a good basketball team. And I think they're starting to get contributions from guys like Grady. Tshiebwe is an absolute monster. The reason that Deion's probably agreeing with you is because he's a West Virginia fan and he hates Tshiebwe. So that probably factored into that. But this is going to be a blowout. Like, Northwestern beat High Point by 35, 40 points, okay? That Childress guy you talked about who had 12 points, my dad, let's not act like he exploded for 20, is averaging a whole 1 point on the year, less than 1 assist, less than 1 rebound, and shooting 30% from the field and 30-something% from 3.
He's getting hot.
On less than 1 attempt. Like, let's get real here. Like, honestly, I think Kentucky covers in this game. So, no, I'm out.
Oh, man. Pressure. Hearing him talk about Kentucky, I want to ride with Greg. I mean, I don't know if I can get there on the money line, but this is a lot of points. I'm not going to act like I know a lot about High Point, but just looking up a little bit here, they're 6-1 as a dog. They're 3-1 versus competition, which is 65% teams are better. And for Kentucky, they might just look over this game and think, they're way better than this team and they don't have to win by that margin. I see them as 3-5 when they play lesser competition, 50% win teams or less. So maybe High Point can hang in this one. I think it's a bit too many points.
All right, so we're going to count that as 1.5 of the sharps that are in on my bet for this one. That's the number to beat, fellas. Carter, let's go to you next for your pitch to the Sharp Tank.
Okay. I don't have something as wild as here, but here's where I'm going to go. I also went with the theme of college basketball, okay? And the theme I went with also is that we have New Year's Eve / New Year's Day college basketball going on. Now, I'm coming with a little less research and a little more gut feeling, okay? If you had to pick a basketball team that would have a more fun New Year's Eve festivities or have a lot more people around them, would you pick Kansas basketball or would you pick George Mason basketball? Let me answer that for you. The Kansas basketball team is going to have way more fun on New Year's Eve. And you have a hungry George Mason team coming in. I love what Kim English does with this team. This is a letdown spot for Kansas going into Big 12 play. They have games coming up against some of the best in the Big 12. They're going to have to play Iowa State. They're going to have to play Baylor. There's some other good teams in the Big 12 in this game. It's a New Year's Day game that was added late, might I add. I believe they added this to the schedule for a cancellation, so they added this game last Thursday. A little less time to prepare than normal, not knowing that this team is on the schedule. And I like this George Mason team. Kim English has motivation, being a former Missouri player and also on Missouri's staff. He knows his stuff about Bill Self. He knows what he has to do. Unfortunately, I was not able to get an official line on this game because the game is New Year's Day. But on the website that I use that I cannot I cannot disclose to you guys because I don't know if it's even supposed to be used, has the line set right now at 18.5. And I am taking George Mason with the points on that game. I think George Mason has some weapons. Joshua Duro is a NBA player in my eyes. I think it's a letdown spot for the Kansas Jayhawks. So come on and take this ride with me, fellas. I know you want to.
Deion, go ahead.
I mean, I want to. Like, you convinced me fully with the who's gonna have more fun on New Year's Eve thing. I just have no idea if I can get the -8 or the plus 18.5. Like, you I would love to follow you, but I'm not sure I can.
Logistically, is that even a possible thing?
You said it yourself. You're not sure if this is an official line.
Yeah, what you want me to do? I mean, I could have been easy and like made it like whatever it is, but like I got a guy.
You could have came to the show with a bet we could all bet. That's what you could.
No, what this is like actual Shark Tank when someone comes to the tank to pitch the Sharks on their business, but can't provide any financial information whatsoever. Like, they don't have their revenue, they don't have projections, they have nothing, and the Sharks are just like, I like your product, but I'm out. That's what this is. Cart, George Mason, you said you love what Kim English has done with this team. From November 19th to December 4th, here's George Mason's results this year. They lost at James Madison by 3. They lost on a neutral floor to Washington by 3. They lost on a neutral floor to Nevada by 19. They lost on a neutral floor to South Dakota State by 4. And then they lost at home to Old Dominion by 10. That's a month straight of losing for Kim English and George Mason.
Greg. I think you're overlooking the fact that is for the perfect storyline. They are reeling. They need a win. Kim English hates the University of Kansas. There are stories out there that they spited him when they were looking for coaches. He's a Missouri guy. He, at the time was a Big 12 guy, would have loved to be on Kansas staff probably, but got scorned by them, did his own thing. He has motivation in this game. They could lose the rest of the games for the rest of the year. It does not matter if they win this basketball game. There is so much motivation for this George Mason team.
I like the motivation angle, but unfortunately I'm out. I'm out on the pitch. Kansas is good. They're really good. You just made the argument on After Dark that they're the most slept on national title contender there is. I think they're going to blow somebody out at some point. It could be this game. So I'm out.
Yeah, if I got to jump in here, from what I've seen from Kansas, I follow more of the Pac-12 and Mountain West, but from what I've seen from Kansas, they are pretty good. And he said it's more of a gut feeling, I'm not sure if it's gut feeling or just gas. So I think I got to be out. I need a little bit more numbers.
Damn, I was really hoping not to start off Shark Tank 0 for 1, but it's okay. Sorry.
All right. Deion, official word, you're out on that, I assume?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was on Cart's side, but, I can't bet the game.
So if I didn't say the point total, would you have bet?
If you would have been if you could have just lied and been the lines plus 18.5 and not said the part about the official, you don't, and I would have been with you. You had me convinced. I completely agree with the New Year's Eve analogy.
Hey, Cart, there's always next week, my friend. That's tough. 0 for 3 start in the Shark Tank. Deion, you're up next. You got to beat 1.5 right now.
So I feel bamboozled by this segment.
Why? We did a test run. I gave you instructions, all of that. What are we
I didn't know we were going to discuss Utah, Ohio State as thoroughly as we did prior to this segment. So I feel bamboozled. By the way, I had Wake Forest -6 first quarter. That just hit because Rutgers ran the clock out. Love that move. I have Utah +4 and money line for this segment, but I feel like I'm already 0 for 2. So I'm just going to talk to Hakeem. Ohio State doesn't want to be there. Utah's a very good team. This is how they prove themselves. Lincoln Riley's coming to the Pac-12. I don't know his name, but the Georgia defensive coordinator's going to Oregon.
Dan Lanning.
That guy's going to Oregon. There's a lot of hype behind that. There's a lot of hype behind the Pac-12 as a whole, NIL. Everyone loves this conference. Utah has to establish themselves to recruits. They're not going to be able to sell them on coming to Salt Lake City. There is no extra incentive. The only incentive is winning. This is how they prove it. Ohio State has a lot of opt-outs. Utah has none, I believe. They just want to be there more. They're not. You want to talk about a team that's not going out on New Year's Eve? It's Utah.
Hakeem, it's yours. I mean, I'm out. I already was out.
This is where I feel bamboozled.
But you said you watch a lot of Pac-12, so I'm very interested to hear your stance on this. This might
No.
swing me, to be honest.
It's more Pac-12 basketball. Like I'm not the biggest college football guy, but you know, I'm looking at it. It opened at Ohio State -7, and it's all the way down to 4. You know, maybe what you're saying here is making sense. Some of these guys, maybe the star players for Ohio State are not going to be in this game, and like you said, the guys for Utah are going to be in because they care more. So I'll ride with you. I think it makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah,
I love that.
Deion, we're out. So
I know that this is why I felt bamboozled by this.
I just want to verbally say I'm out. You knew I was out, but I want you to verbally know that I'm out.
Well, I just want you to know I beat you by 1 because of Hakeem, because you came with a game we can't even bet.
Deion, I want to be clear that you had a very clear opportunity to earn my vote here just by adjusting on the fly, but you accepting defeat going into this segment by saying I already know that I'm going to get 2 losses here and I'm just sticking with it and I'm bamboozled. That's a soft move. I expect better from you as a bettor. I expect better on behalf of all of our viewership here. So I'm happy you got 1 point because I think the logic was sound, but overall, be better, my friend. Come on, like let's not set the bar beating Carter by 1. That's a pretty low bar as far as Sharp Tank goes. Hakeem, best for last, and again, a pretty low bar to beat. You just need 2 of the 3 to officially win this segment. What do you got?
Yeah, you know, I like a lot of games today. I've already played 5 in the association, but I'll talk about 1 here. And it's going to be one that's plus money since you gave a plus money one, Greg. I'll go to the Sacramento and Dallas game. We'll look at a prop. And it's one that's been getting me paid. I mean, I should have his jersey on right now. We're going to go Tyrese Halliburton over 7.5 assists. It's plus money, plus 106. Why is the number this low? Why is it plus money? He's gone over 7 of the last 8 games. And the only game he didn't was when De'Aaron Fox came back into the lineup. You know, when you integrate a high usage player, it could throw off some of the things that the team has been doing. So he's been getting double doubles. He's been getting like 10 pretty much like clockwork except for 1 game. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think he should be the clear-cut starting point guard for Sacramento. I think they should trade Fox. And they see clear-cut. He's the best playmaker they have. So over 7.5 assists at plus money for Tyrese Halliburton.
Car, go ahead first.
Yeah, well, honestly, I'm betting that 1 because obviously the research backs that, and 2 because there's something about players who I look down upon coming into the NBA draft and try to convince everybody that Killian Hayes was our guy and we didn't need Tyrese Halliburton, which is, you know, obviously looking back on it, you know, good grief. So, yeah, I'm in on that one, especially at plus money. You know, because it has seemed like lately he's just, I mean, you can get assist. I don't want to downplay assists in the NBA, but like you can throw it to a guy, and if he's taking less than 2 dribbles and he gets his own jumper up, that's an assist for you. It doesn't have to be an all-worldly assist all the time. He doesn't have to have an elite passing game to eclipse that number. So I like plus money, especially at that number for assists. So I'm in with you on that one.
Yeah, I'm into. The research backs it up. I mean, you can't go against facts.
Yeah,
I can't believe you're in on a Sacramento Kings prop.
I mean, I have to be one way or the other. I love Halliburton. I was kind of out on it, and then he said the Kings should trade Fox. That's been my take for years. I think De'Aaron Fox stinks.
Cart, I think what's very clear right now is almost through 1 full episode of Pushing Orange Juice, we have Deion in shambles right now. I was very curious to see how he would react live. It's tough being thrown into the gauntlet with the sleepers. He's just forgotten all his principles live on camera right now. It's very hilarious to see.
Well, I hate the Kings, but I hate De'Aaron Fox more. I ran him out my neighborhood, by the way. He moved out the hood. Had to run him out. I'm the alpha dog. I'm the alpha. And Halliburton's going to alpha him today by getting 10 assists.
There he is. He's back. Welcome back, Deion. No, we say this is best bets, right? Or whatever Sharp Tank you want to call it. That was the best bet provided on the show so far. Last 5 games for Halliburton, 10 assists, 7 assists in the game you mentioned, Hakeem, 11 assists and 13 assists. Like this guy's been going way over basically every single game. That line seems fishy. So I love that. The fact that it's plus money is just the cherry on top. You get a clean sweep, my friend. 3 for 3 in the first ever Sharp Tank. That's why we bring the pros on. Hakeem, thank you so much for being here, man. You have an open invite anytime you want to come on Pushing Orange Juice going forward.
I appreciate you guys for having me on. It's great talking to you guys. It's funny, it's fun, and good luck to all you guys today.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
brother.
Hey, next time, though, we require a beverage. It can be a mimosa. It can be whatever you want, but we require that next time.
Got you.
You got a clean sweep this time, so you're good. But next time we do that, a little bit of structure.
I won't let y'all down. I got you.
Appreciate you.
Love it. Good luck, brother. All right, we've got about 10 minutes left in the show here. Let's finish with our individual best bets for the week. How this is going to work. We're going to keep a tally of this going forward for the season. You wait your little finger. You can put that finger down. I see you, big fella.
No, okay. I just want to say one thing before we get into this.
Okay.
In classic Carter fashion, I have a Google Doc pulled up about what I wanted to talk about on Shark Tank. And right before we get on this, you go, yeah, it's Shark Tank. We got to bring an underdog pick. I was like, underdog.
I didn't say underdog pick, did I?
You did.
Oh, well, I mean, that was the intention, which I had communicated very clearly via both.
You did. No, you did. It was my fault. My fault, clearly. But I'm just saying, like in typical Carter fashion, I came with Kentucky -3. Like that was my pick. But go ahead.
Against Iowa?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I like that pick.
Thank you. You sure you don't want to keep rehashing your personal mistakes instead of moving on to the next segment? Because we can keep doing that if you want to.
No, Officer Waddell, I don't.
Thank you. All right, this is how Best Bets is going to work unless Carter disagrees and wants to play by different rules. We'll give him the opportunity on this one. We each picked 3 games, which were given to our producer, Lexi. She made some awesome graphics for us that we're going to bet from a $500 budget that we each have every single week. We will keep a tally of what our record is with the picks. We will keep a tally of what our running total is, both up or down, for the remainder of this season of Push and Orange Juice. Carter, do you agree to those rules? Did you play by your own for this one? Anything different you would do here?
No, I agree to the rules.
Okay, just checking, big fella. I want to keep you happy. I understand. You got to keep your star happy. I get it. Let's go to Carter first, actually, if you don't mind. Let's have Cart take us through his best bets for this weekend.
Okay. And are we doing them all 3 at the same time? Just making sure.
You do however you want to do, and we'll adjust on the fly.
Okay.
Man.
All right. Well, 2 of them I already talked about during the episode. First off, Alabama -13.5, $300 to win 227. We did a $500 limit on this for all of us, so that'll be the running narrative going forward with our record as well. I love Bama -13.5 as a game. It's Bama versus Cincinnati. I'm not going to overthink it. I think that Bama wins this game by 2 touchdowns at minimum. Don't want to talk too much about that. Go ahead and bet that game. Get your bankroll up for the rest of the weekend and whatever you endeavor on into the new year. Second game, we have Ole Miss against Baylor, over 55.5. Now, this Baylor defense is good. Credit to them. All the stats match up with this. But I love the narrative in this game that Matt Corral, who's going to be a top 10, top 15 pick in the NFL, is opting into this game to play. I think that there is more of a chance that Baylor tries to play an up-tempo shootout type game with Ole Miss instead of playing their style of football. I think that Ole Miss is going to get to 30 points, and they might get over 30 points, and I can count on Baylor to cover the rest of that. I mean, Ole Miss can easily get to 40 points as well. I think they're a high air raid gunning offense. Matt Corral's last game before he goes to the NFL, I think he goes out there gunning, sends a message, maybe even increases his draft stock a little bit. Who knows? Guys like Sam Howell didn't have the best game. Kenny Pickett with the opt-out, maybe had a little recency bias in it. Big game from Matt Corral, the Heisman, candidate, hopeful coming into this year. I like over 55.5 on that game. And then lastly, Notre Dame -2.5. Let's get the Freeman era off on a good note. Let's get the Kelly stench away from the Notre Dame program. Let's start anew, fresh in this game. And you know what? I'm not saying Notre Dame's going to run away with this game, but in great fashion, it could be a Notre Dame field goal to win the game. They lift up, they pour the Gatorade on Freeman. Everyone's happy. Notre Dame fans are rejoicing. Start off on a good note. I think Oklahoma State is disappointed that they aren't in the college football playoff. They're going to be licking their wounds. Notre Dame wants this game. They're going to send a message. I like Notre Dame -2.5. Carter Elliott's best bets. Started off on a good note and listen to the rest of these dweebs talk about their loser bets.
I'm in a tough spot here because I love all 3 of Carter's best bets for this week. So
I hate the Ole Miss Baylor.
All right,
one.
I didn't mean to call y'all doobies either. I love you both.
I don't like the Ole Miss Baylor one that much. Is Matt Corral playing?
Yeah,
Oh, he is?
yeah,
Oh, I love that now.
yeah. I was surprised he's playing.
Yeah, I thought he opted out, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, someone could probably fact. Everything I saw is that he's playing.
Actually,
If he's playing, I love it.
If anything, this has swung me because quarterbacks that should not be playing in their bowl games that are playing have fared horribly in bowl season so far. So I might be on Baylor money line in this one, but I like the over too.
But so vaguely off topic, but not really. I hated the fact that Kenny Pickett didn't play last night, but was sitting in the booth. That was disgusting behavior. As soon as the backup quarterback got hurt, as a Pittsburgh bettor, I wanted him to go get his helmet and get the fuck on the field.
You bet on Pittsburgh?
I had to. They won me a massive parlay a few weeks ago. They're just in my heart. I had to do it.
Okay. Yeah. You and Rihanna.
Deion best bets. We're short on time.
All
right. So my best bets. Thank God these are on the screen because I forgot them, to be honest. Arkansas minus 2.5 against Penn State. KJ Jefferson. I love that. I don't think he's that good, but he looks good getting off the bus. That's huge for me when it comes to quarterbacks. Like that pause, but that's that's huge for me when it comes to quarterbacks. I think they blow Penn State out. That's another team that doesn't want to be there. Central Michigan, Washington State over 57.5. I believe you have 4 minutes to bet this. Both these teams stink. Defensive stink. Both the offenses average close to 60 points a game. I think this is a game where the over gets hit probably like midway through the third quarter. Georgia minus 7.5. That one speaks for itself. Michigan stinks, man. Fuck Michigan. I'm a known Harbaugh hater. I hate that school. I don't want them to succeed at anything right now. Not only am I taking that, I'm taking alternate line and everything else I mentioned earlier in the show.
That was a Grinch pick, Deion. I'm just gonna say, like, that was a pick from like the cold, withered heart that is your heart.
Oh yeah.
Which again, like we had Hakeem Profit Picks on to tell us, not a lot of research there. Like,
I mean, there's no research on Georgia, Michigan, other than I hate Michigan.
All right. Well, I say to you in a Denard Robinson jersey, respectfully, fuck you, my friend. Today, not the day for that energy. Let's get to my best bets, if we could, please. Are you gonna do that every single time? That joke hit pretty hard in the test episode, Car. I don't know if we're gonna do that every single episode. I'm against Deion. I'm taking Michigan plus 7.5. That is a heart pick. That's why there's only 100 of my $500 budget on that one. But 7.5, it's a key number. I like key numbers. I think they can keep this within a touchdown, even if they get down early. Maybe a backdoor cover happens. Alabama minus 13.5. If I could just put all of my $500 budget on this, I would. I wouldn't mess around with anything else. That's the best bet of the weekend for me. This is a blowout waiting to happen. Don't overthink it. And finally, it wouldn't be my best bets if I didn't give you some sort of parlay. $100 to win just under $1,200. We're going to sprinkle Michigan money line, Notre Dame money line, Ohio State money line, and Washington State money line. Again, that game starts in 2 minutes, so you're welcome for giving you time to go get that bet in. We'll see. You guys didn't go with any long shots here, so if God forbid I hit that parlay, I have a little leg up on you as we talk about our running totals. And we said, do we have this on-camera agreement that the loser of like lowest total at the end of the season has to do next year's New Year's show running a 5K?
I'll agree to that.
Yeah, I mean, I said it, so I obviously agree.
Okay. I'm in agreement.
Deion has to do the full 5K because, like, usually at 5Ks you do like the little toddler run where they do like a 100-meter dash. Like, he actually has to run the 5K, right?
Okay, there's 60 seconds left. We're gonna end with fake bets. A push and orange staple here. I'll start. I'm going to a movie in an hour with my wife. We're gonna go see Sing 2. Over under 8.5 times that I check my phone to check scores in the middle of the movie.
Over.
How long's the movie?
Like an hour 45, I believe.
Oh yeah, way over.
Also, I just 100% made up that time. I have no fucking clue. But the over is correct. I'm on the over as well. Deion, what's your fake bet?
Well, so I came with the wrong fake bet, but I'm gonna pivot in true alpha dog fashion. Over under 2.5 hours it takes me to finish 2 bottles of champagne with mimosas.
Under.
Yeah,
Under. Yeah, under.
Yeah, way under. I'm already through. I'm
stressing over that game.
I'm already through one, to be honest.
Attaboy.
Okay, my bet. I am going to get a drink with my mother and my father-in-law and my wife at 2:30. And for the reference, my father-in-law, he loves entertaining. He loves talking about everything. Do I make it in time for kickoff at 3:30? And when I say in time for kickoff, am I sitting on my couch at 3:20 with my beverage and my snacks, ready to watch this game?
No.
Give me the odds on this, because this isn't just yes or no. Like, if it's yes, what's the odds on yes?
Honestly, it's plus money that I'm sitting on my couch at 3:20.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with no. I've seen Cal in action. That's a no.
I haven't, and I know you're not making it to you move slow. You're a bigger individual. I know you're gonna get comfortable on the couch, but there's a lot of food that's gonna have to be made for a 3-hour football game for you. It's a lot of snacks.
Good
Lord. Cart, congrats on the Michigan State win. Deion, congrats on waking up before 8 a.m. your time to do this. Incredible effort. Honestly, you're the MVP of the week. This has been fun, fellas. You can catch us pushing Orange Juice every single week going forward. This is a weekly betting show, betting in the morning on the Multiplicity Media Network. This will stream on YouTube and Twitter every Saturday morning going forward. Yes, you heard that correct. We started on a Friday today just to go the extra mile for y'all, because there's some big games today. So we appreciate everybody watching this, everybody who showed love, everybody who retweeted. Please spread the word. Any final words, fellas, before we sign off?
Go Dogs.
Win some money. And shout out Lex, too, producer, behind the scenes, making this all happen. Everything looked great. Can't believe this went as smooth as it went. But, hey, let's win some money, man. Come on, man.
Cheers to a big day, fellas. Peace.
To my bookie.